Hiya, buddy. It's 6:20 a.m. We are 10 minutes before sunrise, and it doesn't look like we're going to get much light here this morning. You join me. I'm just finishing up actually my trip to England, and we've come back to Buttermere, and we came back here for sunrise in the hope that we would get some nice light. The light that we've had all weekend, I suppose, really has been quite mixed. So we've had snow, we've had storms, we had a bit of clear skies, we did some astro, we've had some good atmosphere in the upper clouds, but we've had a lot of rain. And right now it isn't raining, it's threatening to rain, but I don't think it's going to rain. Hopefully it won't, fingers crossed anyway, it doesn't. But I've moved over to further over on the left-hand side of the lake as well itself. We do have somewhat flat water, not a completely flat water, because you've got ducks that are waking up in the morning, stretching their wings, and obviously they're ruining the flatness of the water as well itself. But I'm going to take one quick shot here, and then just behind me, on a bit of a hill, there are some trees and a stone wall. So I'm going to go explore there this morning and see, can I get something different from this location? Will it help me in regards to taking a photograph of this location and not being next to the lakeside like I was when I was on this side here on my last episode of my vlog. So yeah, I'm just going to take one quick recce shot as such for here, and then I'll just go slightly up this hill and I'll check back in when I get there, and I'll tell you what I'm doing from a compositional point of view.
While shooting the standard shot, all I was looking at was this tree. I hadn't seen a shot of this here before. Could I find something different? Would I be able to do something unique in this area? Lake Buttermere is one of the most photographed lakes in all the Lake District as far as I know. And as I stepped up, the spot where the sheep were stood, maybe they had the best view. Maybe I should give it a go. So I set my camera up in the hope that I would find something unique at Buttermere.
So it's my last day here in England, and we decided to come back here for dawn in the hope that we may get some nice conditions with some nice light for sunrise. As you can see, I have almost flat water as well that I'm dealing with here, but two things are breaking up that flatness. Number one is the ducks. So they're waking up in the morning and they're having their morning stretch. So they're going across and they're creating ripples in the water. And then secondly is it's raining. So it's not raining heavy, it's only a slight drizzle, but at the same point it's getting my lens wet, it's breaking the reflections in the water. So I've decided to do something different, I suppose, really. Maybe it's been done before, I don't know, I haven't seen photographs like this, but there's a bit of a hill on the far end of the lake here. And as you can see, there's this one outcrop of a tree that sits out there proud of the rock. So I'm going to play around here and try and get an exposure that will give me that image with the tree on the left hand side of the frame. You should be able to see then some reflections in the distance as well themselves, a bit of the famous pines that are at the very, very end of the lake, and this, obviously the white cottage as well there. So I'm going to set up a shot here, and once I get it set up, I'll actually talk you through what I've done to take the photograph as well itself. But hopefully I can get a different shot here this morning to start off my day. So I've set up the shot here now, and what I've done with it is I have the tree on the left hand side, so it's kind of leading out into the scene as well itself. You've got a bit of cloud that's on the peaks of the crags that are across the lake. You've got a bit of that reflection, and like I said earlier, you've got the white cottage as well itself. I'm going to play around and take a couple of different types of exposures. So I'm going to go for a f11 because I want to try and get as deep a depth of field as possible to make sure I can get everything in focus. I'm also going to take an f4. So this lens, the Canon 1635 IS, it's an f4 lens. So I'm going to shoot at f4 and I'm going to focus on the tree, and hopefully then everything else kind of fall into the background in a softness aspect of it. So it might make that tree as well jump out more. And then the final thing that I'm going to do is take a focus stacked image. So I'm going to take some images here, one in the tree and then one in the distance. I don't think I need anything in between because the foreground is close enough, and then obviously the background is far enough away. So I don't really need to do a third focus stack image as well itself. But I do like this composition actually. You know, there is one small bit of a tree that's kind of just above here that's actually cutting into the top left hand corner of the frame. I should be able to remove that later in post. But yeah, it's something different anyway. It's not the standard item. I didn't want to come here again today and can take exactly the same photographs as I took yesterday, but I want to try and get something different. So the first one anyway here is this tree, and then I'm going to continue up just onto that mound actually where that tree is based from. I see a nice wall there, so hopefully I'll be able to use that wall as a leading line and bring it out into the image as well itself. But yeah, you know, we are now past sunrise and there is pretty much no colour, so I don't think I'm going to get any colour today. But yeah, let's have a look at these shots anyway, and then we can move on to where I'm going to try and take another shot. When I come to a new location and I've never shot here before, rather than just rock up with the camera on the tripod, I like to take the camera off, go handheld, and just really take a number of different shots, even put the camera on auto, so you don't have to mess around in regards to exposure or unexposure. It doesn't even make a difference if it's in focus or it's out of focus. It's purely from composition to enable you to be able to, when you do decide and find the composition that you want, lock down the camera in that position and then take your shot. Because more often than not, if you just arrive with the tripod, you might stick and say, okay, yeah, this is really, really nice, but play around, explore. You know, getting down low might give you a completely different perspective than being up high. And that's about exploring the area, like I say, experimenting and finding the right composition for what's right for you for the shot that you'd like to take. I'm looking to do something here, which is have the wall on the right hand side of the frame so that it's going to lead into the actual center of the image. I'll have the mist or the cloud cover peaks as well here in the distance. I'll get a bit of reflections below as well. The only thing I have to be conscious of is the trees that are just below here cutting into the reflection of the pine trees at the end of the lake as well itself. But it's something that I generally try and do, and I would really recommend to do it. Doesn't always mean that you're going to get an absolutely amazing shot, but it definitely means that you get a variety of shots, and then you can quickly look back on the camera and see which one suits you most or you like most, and then take that on the tripod and then get all your settings correct. What I've settled on here now, as you can see, is I've come down really low with the camera. The reason I wanted to come down low is I wanted the wall to be more of a dominant feature within the scene itself, because it'll start, like I said a moment ago, on the right hand side of the frame and lead its way in. When I was up higher, it just seemed as if it was insignificant, and I want the wall to be able to catch your eye and bring your eye through the image as well itself, which will lead you nicely out into the lake. You have a nice bit of light now as well. It's coming through the gap that's here, but I don't really think it's going to be an amazing morning, or there's no sunrise anyway, so it might not be an amazing morning, but definitely something that I like to try and do is to get some different styles of photography other than the norm. And also I've done a focus stack for this image here because the wall is quite close and obviously the distance is quite far away. Almost a Father Ted moment there with Dougal, near and far away, but you know what I mean. So I've taken 2 shots. I'm going to take a third one as well because I want to do one that's slightly underexposed, because with that light that's coming in the peaks here, it is just giving me a small bit of a notification that there's a highlight on the image. So I'm taking a third shot as well, just in case. I may not need it, but just in case. And you know, taking this photograph here itself, I haven't seen something like this before. Maybe it's been there, maybe it's so bad that nobody's ever posted it, I don't know, but I'll show you my version of this image anyway here, and I'll do one final exploration in this area, and we'll see what type of shot that we can get. Well, I think that's a wrap for my trip to England and now into the Lake District. I've really enjoyed myself here. It's something that, you know, I've done here. I've come to this location before, but with different conditions. And as always, the conditions that you get can dictate the type of images that you will be able to deliver. But it's been challenging. We've had all different seasons in one day. And like I said earlier on, you know, the consistent aspect has been rain. Wind was a big factor when we were up in Northumberland, but since we got into the Lake District, there's very little wind at all, so it's good. The light that you see here coming in the distance is probably going to be the best that I'm going to get. So all I'm going to do right now is, I have my camera set up next to the video recording camera. I'm just going to use my remote. I'm going to turn around. I'm going to take a photograph just purely for myself of me sitting on this bench looking at this beautiful area of Buttermere. Maybe I'll get it printed for home as a memory in regards to this trip as well itself. But all that's left for me to say is thanks as always for watching my channel, and I hope you enjoyed the content for this tour as I come to England. And until the next time, Slán go fóill.
So that's it. Our trip to England 2019 was done and dusted. Boy, what a trip. I really did enjoy the time I spent with Dermot, the photography show, and everybody we met along the way. But most of all, I enjoyed the places that we visited and the fun that every day seemed to bring. So thanks very much for joining me on this series. I do really hope you enjoyed the content, and until the next time, Slán go fóill.